Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Joy for the Journey. My conversation today is with a wonderful, brilliant, fierce, bold, courageous, amazing woman. I'm going to introduce her to you all. Some of you all probably know who she is, but to others, here she goes. Cheryl Thomas is an acclaimed singer, Grammy-nominated songwriter, and vocal arranger in the gospel music industry. Of all of her accomplishments, she recognizes her greatest as being a mother of four and a survivor. In 2017, she released her first single, Fighters, which I love that song, which embodied the message of hope, survival, victory, and freedom. This song has reached so many across the world as a triumphant anthem with powerful, inspirational words. She also released a debut album called Simply Cheryl, sharing her journey and songs to build up and encourage those who need a little hope in their lives. The message is simple: embrace your truth, the changes that come with it, and discover abundance of life and unconditional love that is available to you. You will make it and you will be okay. Welcome, Cheryl Thomas.
Thank you so
Hey,
much. I
sis.
appreciate it.
I'm so excited. Listen, I just was refreshing my memory today on the song Fighters. I love that song. When you first got it, I downloaded it then. So I was like, oh Lord, I don't want to be lying and say I've downloaded it and I didn't have it. So I went and you're on my playlist. You're on my playlist. Yeah, we're fighters, never
Right.
gonna give up. Da, 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 right? Da, da,
My
da,
dear.
da, da, da. I love that song. Yes, I love it, Cheryl. It's such a it is an anthem, man. It
Yeah,
is an anthem. I may have to ask you for some permission to like use that somehow because
absolutely.
my motto is unbreakable. That's been a motto and a
Yeah.
mantra that I've lived by these last 3 years. But just listening and I was reading the lyrics to your song
Yeah.
today. Okay, y'all. So here it goes. It says, and let me say, oh, it's so many good things. She says, or the chorus says this. Let me tell you what the chorus says. We're fighters, never gonna give up, never gonna give up now. I'll take your hand and you'll take mine. What's the next line?
We'll conquer this thing they call life.
They call life. But the part, the pre-chorus, like you may feel like life is over.
Yeah, you may feel like life is over. I won't let you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I won't
Together
let
we're gonna make it through this. And
Yes.
yeah, and I'm gonna just
Tell me
share
where
with
that song came from. Yeah. Tell me.
yeah. So it's really amazing. I was in the thick of fix.
The thick of
um,
what? The thick of
ooh,
what?
thick of fix, honey.
Thick of thick. That's what you said.
Ooh,
Tell
child.
us about your thick of thick. We're talking about joy for the journey. So everybody has their own journey, and we want to hear about yours. So
Yeah.
share us about.
And I just, really, really quick, my daughter had given me a Mother's Day card, and it had all these different tabs on the card, but the last tab said fighter. You never give up and you always fight for what's right.
Wow.
And this was, literally going through a whole lot during this time. Back and forth to court and all the stuff that was going on, and my kids experiencing all of this with me as well. And so that car broke me. It broke me down.
Imagine.
But it just stuck with me, that line. And I was in the car. I had just dropped them off at school, and I couldn't shake that line. And here I am in the car, driving around writing a whole song. Yeah.
You know something how like when you get inspired and God will just down. I call those down. Whoops, lost the earring. Okay. Those are called I call them downloads.
Yeah.
God was, you weren't planning on writing a song. You weren't, it just it's like beams it right on down.
Literally, it was just flowing. And I think probably one of my favorite lines in the song, besides that part, would be that he trusts us with this fight.
Yeah.
I say that, he trusts us with this fight. And it's like, who are we? But he trusts us, and I think part of that is we know who we can lean on. We know who we can depend on. We know why he can, put us in things like this, because he knows that we're going to give him the glory.
Yes.
He's going to get the glory in it. And so I'm thankful for the challenges you know.
Man, for you to have written a song in the thick of things. It's so funny, you know, when I was going through my stuff, people were, you know, prophesying and trying to encourage me, girl, you're gonna write a song. I just sense a song. I see a prayer. I saw a song coming out of you. They'd be praying and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't want to hear a note. I'm not trying to sing. I'm just trying to inhale and exhale. Did you have any of those kind of days when you were going through your journey?
Oh, for sure. And one thing, I think too, one thing that I had to kind of deal with was always allowing the expectations of other people to rush my process. And, you know, and that's, you know, because I was getting people like, you need to capitalize on the moment. And I'm like, what moment? I'm broken. You know, I'm
broken, like a million pieces.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to rebuild. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. You know, I couldn't capitalize on a moment. I couldn't do that. And I had to really, of course I was, you know, going through counseling and all of that, which I'm a firm believer in counseling. You hear me? Ooh, I'm a firm believer. And I had to kind of get through that part of my life of people putting those expectations on me and saying, well, I think you need to do this and I think you need to do that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but I have to hear God for myself.
Absolutely.
I have to sit with God for myself. Yeah. And I have to do what he's called me to do in this season of my life. And in this season of my life is to sit. Is to trust him, is to listen to him, you know, and be still and be patient.
Yes.
And I think that was a challenge for me. That was a challenge for me. And it's like that too sometimes when your life consists of serving everyone else.
Yes.
And serving everyone else, you know, and I had, you know, that was a challenge for me. Yeah.
Man, and talk about for a minute being, you know, the ex-wife of a high-profile person. Yeah, we both know about that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And going from, you know, being in the limelight. I mean, you were right there beside your ex-husband singing. You wrote. I mean, you're a Grammy award-winning or nominated.
Yeah, nominated. Yeah.
You're a winner to me. You won it.
I'll take it.
I had you got a Grammy on your shelf right now. That's not everybody's testimony. Right. So that's a blessing to be able to even say those words about you. So super proud of you. And but you know, you went from being a partner, like for real, a partner, helping to build up. Sit up a little bit, Cheryl. I can't see your cute little striped top. There we go. You know, went from being a partner in that thing called marriage, in every sense of the word, being a helpmeet, to okay, now what? So how did you transition? How did you go from transition to transformation? Like, how did you go from that transition of being out in the limelight, being this wife of this, you know, very renowned person in the gospel music industry, to Cheryl who? Like, if I were to just say Cheryl Thomas, like Cheryl who?
Yeah.
How did you make that transition?
Man, that was a lot of prayer. That was, again, a lot of sitting with God.
Yes.
A lot of accountability around me. It was hard. It was, you know, for sure, a very interesting transition. And here again, it's when you've served and you're this and you're that, and you wear all these different hats, and now you're this, and it's like, oh my gosh. And I think sometimes we get lost in it, you know. We get so lost in it.
Talk about that. Get lost. Because there's a whole lot of women, Cheryl, so lost in the position, so lost in the title, so lost in the accolades, if you will. Come on, lost in the limelight. They're lost. They're blinded by the things, the stuff.
Yeah. And this is where, you know, when you're coming out of this, I always say this is when the real work begins, because now it's a discovering who you are.
Yes.
Who you are apart from that, who you are really in Christ, because
Yes.
again, we get lost in it, and we put so much into it that it just becomes everything for us. And,
we get defined
yeah,
by
you
it.
know, and it forces you to sit with yourself. It really, really does.
Mm.
And I had to do that.
Yeah.
And I had to come to a realization of, oh my gosh, you know, um, this is who I am, you know, and embracing it, you know, because we can.
Tell us how long you were married, you know, because it's like,
Too long.
just,
Okay.
oh, I love you. I love you. Okay, give us a number, please.
I would say it was 14 and a half years.
Yes. So that's a long time to be
Yeah.
defined in yet that role as a wife, you know,
Yeah.
and the wife of, not just a wife, but the wife of.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you had to embrace it. Talk about embracing it. What do you mean by, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, just embracing the fact that that was no longer my life,
Mm-hmm.
and me having to make a choice of, okay, what is my next step?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not being afraid to trust God with that next step.
Come on.
You know, and that's just, you know, it's just a reality. You know.
I was just
And
talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about trusting God, and
yeah.
not the fact of just trusting God, but learning how to trust. You know, that song, I think Andre Crouch wrote it, I learned to trust in Jesus.
Trust in Jesus. I learned to trust in God.
Learn to trust.
Yes.
You have to really learn how to do that, right?
Yeah.
And just like a student, we're both in the education field, right? Or you're still in the education field, and I've been a teacher. How do we know that our students get it?
Yeah.
How do we know they got the lesson? They understand the concepts. They have to have what? A test.
A test. Yeah.
That's how you know that they've learned. So God, I think he tests us so that we can. That's how we learn to trust Him, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have any troubles, we wouldn't have anything to trust Him for.
Yeah.
If we were sick, we wouldn't know Him to be a healer.
Listen.
If we
weren't broke, we wouldn't know He.
That part.
Provider, come on.
That part, Cheryl. So yeah,
Exactly.
but you know, you wrote a post. This is what really compelled me to reach out to you.
Yeah.
I thought I was really done with my whole Joy for the Journey conversations. I was like, okay, I'm you know, my journey and the people that helped me on my journey. But then the Holy Spirit, when I saw your text last week, I hollered. I was like, I DM'd you right away.
You did.
I need your phone number. We need to talk. And I was trying to scroll down and find it about not being a victim. You remember what you said?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And that was so, I don't know why, it was just heavy on me. And I said, let me just, you know, share this, because I think a lot of times people, when we come out of abusive situations, challenging situations, whatever it is, I mean, you know, public situations, people expect us to act like woe is me, right?
Victim.
And so I refuse to take on the woe is me. And so the post was basically just saying that just because I don't operate as a victim doesn't mean that I didn't experience it. I made the choice
to
heal. And that's what a lot of this is. Absolutely. It's you really having to make that decision. Do you want a better life? Of course you do.
That's right.
You know, and you have to be intentional about that, you know.
That's another great word, just intentionality. Yeah. It's so important because it helps you to stay focused.
It does.
And you've got definitely 4 reasons to stay focused.
Yeah.
Your children.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me the ages rather of your children.
So my oldest is 23.
Okay.
And then I have 16, 15, and then one that turns 14 this week.
Wow. So they were very young. They're still young, but they were very young when you and your ex-husband got a divorce. How did you protect them or try to cover them? You know, as mamas, we're still mama bear. Like, we may be hurting, we may be going through what we're going through, but
can I just be honest?
Yeah.
I could have done more.
Mm.
And you know, sometimes we don't want to admit that. And that was another thing that when I was going through counseling,
Yeah.
That my counselor was like, you have to let go of that part of your life, because what it does is it it allows you to, it's like you're taking the blame for every single thing,
Mm.
right? And that's not really making these children grow from children to adults. Like it just doesn't implement good behavior for them in the long run.
Right.
But I could have done a better job of protecting them,
Amen.
and that's just real, and that's just honesty. And you know, I could have done a better job, and I'm just gonna be transparent about that and be honest. And I made the decision that when we did come out of this, what am I gonna do
Yeah.
to make this a better environment for them?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they've seen so much happening the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's really time for me to be intentional about showing them the right way.
You just reminded me
I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to do that again.
It's good to do it, to show them the right way.
Yeah.
To show them what a non-toxic environment is really like.
Yeah.
A peaceful home and environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should feel like, sound like, all of that, right?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of a quote that Dr. Phil said. He said, children would rather come from a dysfunctional home than to live in one.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather come from one than just go be in one.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man. A lot of women, mothers that are going to be watching this video, a lot of them are staying because of the kids.
Yeah.
And I know that was part of my testimony too. I had a lot to lose. I didn't want the kids to be a statistic, and I didn't want them to come from a broken home, and all those things. Those are good reasons, but they're not the best reasons.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
There's a consequence if you stay.
Yeah.
Then there's consequences when you leave.
Yeah.
What was the motivating factor for you to make the decision that you made?
Things had to shift, things had to change. And I remember one of my children making a comment and just saying that he keeps breaking his promises. And
wow.
Kids are paying attention. They pay attention.
Say that to the people in the back. Say that. People in the back.
Pay attention. And, because of who we are as being the nurturers, the carer for the home, that if we're walking on eggshells, why wouldn't they be walking on eggshells? And they feel what we feel.
Yeah. Yes. What do you think about the wife and the mother? We are like the thermostat. We set the temperature.
Right. We set the tone in the house.
We sure do. We sure do.
And which is why I go back to say that I could have done a better job, where I was just like, let me just be honest, I could have done a better job with standing up, the protection mechanism. There were very weak moments, where I should have, but kids are paying attention. We don't think they are, but they are.
But we teach our children what is acceptable by our too. And I know for me, I was like, okay, if I continue to if I stay in this, if I choose to stay in this, what am I teaching my sons?
Yeah.
Am I teaching my sons, this is how you treat your wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
And my spiritual daughters, who I still have several, what am I teaching my spiritual daughters? What am I teaching the congregation that I was over? What was I teaching the women and the men that were looking to me? I'll speak for myself, by my staying or by my leaving. It's a lesson in both decisions. It's a lesson. Speaking of lesson, what lesson would you say that you have learned in your journey?
The patience.
Okay.
Being really, really being patient with myself.
Okay.
Again, that whole not rushing the process, and I'm
Yes,
gonna tell you too,
that's great.
and not allowing anything else to rush that
Yeah,
process.
because healing, you can't put a
Yeah,
time frame
you
on
cannot
healing,
put
right,
a,
Cheryl?
no, you cannot.
No.
No, you cannot. And I still believe that every day there is something that's chipping off. This is chipping off, and that's a lesson. And for sure, um, grace. Grace, huge thing.
Very
A
big.
huge thing in my life, and not necessarily again, the grace for for other people. Yes, I forgave long. When I say a long time ago, long time ago.
Yeah,
I did not want that burden. I did not want that weight.
very good.
But just um, again, the grace um, that God extends to everyone else, I've got to learn how to embrace and accept that too for my life.
Oh,
And so I would say that is one thing that I've definitely, learned on this journey. Um, and I'm just thankful. I mean, when I tell you, I'm so thankful to be in a freeing place.
come on, talk about that freedom.
Yeah,
When
it's
you have been free and then you're free, you're like, oh, wait, this is.
it's just that simple stuff. I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, man, you just really don't know what it feels like to wake up in the morning, literally open my eyes, and my kids, they just laugh at me because I'm such a morning person. I get up and I'm just like, let's get it. No,
Wow, I am not that way. And
but
you're creative. That's interesting because most creatives, well, that I know, are more night out.
All night thing. Look. But I still wake up with joy. But I think that, or I know that a lot of that is tied into I'm not waking up in this toxic environment. I'm not waking up in this don't know what I'm waking up to.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of that joy I know stems from that,
Yes.
It stems from that.
What message would you give to other women, that are going through what we've gone through? We've both been through divorce. I've been divorced now 3 years, almost 3. What was it, been 3 years? Oh my gosh, has it been 3 years already? Child, see, I don't even, anyway, 3 years. And you've been divorced, what, 5, is it 5, 6?
5.
5 years. Yeah. What encouragement would you give another sister of ours who is going through this right now, whether they're separated, they're on the verge, that they're in an abusive situation, whatever kind of abuse that is? Abuse is abuse, and toxic environment is toxic environment. What would you say to her to encourage her that there is life and after this?
One of my favorite verses in the Bible is Isaiah 41:10. And it says, do not be afraid, for I'm with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you, and I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. And I would say in this season, accountability, and that's one thing that I prayed for coming out of this was I can't do this by myself, so number one, know that you can't do it by yourself, praying and believing that God can send the right support that you need, the right accountability that you need to hold you up, and counseling. I don't care what anybody says. It just shifts your perspective. It helps you to take a look at yourself, even as to why am I accepting the behavior?
Yes.
That's another thing.
Good.
Why am I? It's about me that says this is okay. Because we can, dwell on the other person, but at the end of the day, it's here, and you've got to work on your heart. You've got to do the recovery. You've got to do the rebuilding. You've got to do the real work. And my encouragement would be in that season, lean on God. Get you a support system.
Yes.
You know, I don't care if it's one person that you trust. And if you don't have that one person, ask God to send that person to, I'm telling you, he will do it. He will do it. He will do it. And if you don't know God, start off with something as simple as reading Isaiah 41:10. That there is someone here to help you. There is someone to hold you up. There is someone to give you the strength that you need to make it to this next step. And take your time. Take your time. Take it moment by moment. Don't let anyone tell you. And yes, I know, you know, we're mothers and we may have kids, and yes, life has to keep going. But even in that, find those downtime moments. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day to just take a break, to just breathe, to take a moment for yourself. You know, do the work to you know, to have a better life. And I'm telling you that it's just, you have to be intentional about it. If you want to change, if you want, and the thing is, you have to want it.
That's right.
You know, you have to want it. It has to be something that you desire, that you want to see better life. And it's not always about the money. It's not always about the materialistic things. It's about the peace and the joy that truly sits on the inside. So my encouragement, listen, Isaiah 41:10 and Jeremiah 29:11. You know, I know the plans I have for you. And I promise, it's like, you're going to get through this part of your life, but don't rush it. Take your time. Take the necessary time to heal.
Now that's a don't rush challenge, right?
Yeah, like legit. Legit. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you do that, Cheryl, I feel like you're going to repeat the pattern again.
Of course you will.
No, that's why I'm taking my time. Yeah, I want to be I want to be married again. I believe in love. I would love to be married again.
For sure.
You know, for sure.
All of that.
I want to make sure I'm in a good place, because my next time.
You're going to bring that right back into the same situation.
And I'm like, I decree and declare my next time will be my last time.
Yes.
And somebody.
Thank you.
Next time, Mr. Cheryl, our next time.
Yeah.
Our last time.
You know,
do this right. And, you know, learn how to use your voice. I don't know about you, but there were times where I felt muted.
Yes.
You know, because we're married to high profile people, didn't want to, you know, embarrass and so we're covering and all that kind of stuff. So
and I mean, and we even go through the periods of where we were afraid to talk, afraid to say anything. You know, in fear of, I mean, I remember when I moved out of my last house into the house that I'm in now, and you know, people think even when you get out that, oh, I'm out, I'm done. No, because it's here.
Yes.
So, and we got to work on this. You know, so I'm living in a whole new house, in a whole new environment, and I'm still making decisions based off of what will they think.
Wow.
You know? And you've got to, again, do the work. You know, if God has allowed you and has moved you from this place of being bound into this place over here, he's given you a whole new space. He's given you a whole new environment. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, in the book of Isaiah, it says, I will do a new thing. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. So new thing, get some new bed sheets, get some new towels, if you can afford it, get a new sofa. You know what I'm saying? Just get something new to just do what you like. Pick the colors that you, it's as simple as that. It don't always have to be
practical things.
Right. It don't always have to be super spiritual. Listen, I got a whole new color palette. Whole new color palette. And that I would have never done in my relationship to my former husband. But it's so freeing and liberating. I was like, I like this. What does joy like? What does Cheryl like?
And that's where it comes, embracing it, you know?
Absolutely.
It, you know, and it's just very important. And I cannot emphasize, I cannot say this enough, be intentional about it. I don't care if you have to read the same scripture every day. You got to read the same inspirational quote every day. Whatever it's going to take for you to not remain and dwell in that stuck place.
Yeah.
You gotta pick up those pieces and you gotta say, God, what can you do with this?
Yeah.
And there's so much he can do with it.
Absolutely.
You know, there's so
right,
much.
Right before we started to record, your cute dog. I just have to mention it. You got a really cute dog. What kind of poodle is it? It's a lap.
A Yorkie poodle.
A Yorkie poodle. Oh, she's so cute. Bella, right? Bella's her name. Yeah. And I was like, I want something to love and to love me back unconditionally. And that's like a real thing. Like I'm like, oh, I want something to take care of. Cause that's, we were born to be helpmeets. Like that's like, we're hardwired to love. We're hardwired to give. We're hardwired to nurture.
Yeah.
And so, but I still, I yearn for that. And so doing the work though is so important because you want to make sure you channel that love and that nurture to the right person who appreciates it.
Absolutely.
Who values it.
Yes.
Not gonna take it for granted.
Yeah.
Right.
The first person that you have to begin to love is right here.
Right here. Absolutely. Well, Cheryl,
it's not gonna, trickle down to the next person until you've accepted it here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just want to just mention just how proud I am again of you, and being a mom, you're. I know it's not been easy. I know it wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy for me. I've had to make and accept some hard situations and decisions as a mother myself. It's not been easy. But God has been helping the both of us to get through it, and just watching you from afar and now up close, you're doing the doggone thing. And I'm so listen, y'all have to follow her. Please follow her if you're not already. Get her project and download the song, download her album. It will really bless your life. Women, I'm telling you, that Fighter song it's still fire. It's like 3 years old, but it's so relevant.
I'm still getting people like, oh my gosh, I never heard this record. And like somebody hit me to this. And I'm like, I wanted to create something timeless, something that people can just carry with them throughout their life.
Yes.
For every season.
And you did just that. You did. So what are you up to now? You're teaching, or what are you doing?
Well, I'm actually an administrative assistant in the school district. So I get to work with the principals and the vice principals and all of that good stuff.
That's a lot.
I love it. And I still, get to interact with the kids and help in those areas. So that's what I'm doing now. And of course, being a mom, child, my kids are just
in everything. You got teenagers.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And
one who's in basketball consistently.
Oh, really? Hey, I remember those days.
Oh, yeah, honey.
And you're still singing, right?
I am still singing. Good. And I'm working on this next project soon too. So I'm excited.
I'm super proud of you for even doing that to keep using that gift that God gave you, and you didn't shelf it, even if you had to take a break for a minute. But you realize
that part, and it's okay to take a break.
It's okay to take a break, absolutely, because you got to catch your breath when the wind was knocked out of you. You know what I mean? Your cells are just like all shattered and broken to pieces.
And another thing is you have to know what season you're in, and you have to know how you need to move in that season.
Absolutely. So I'm super proud of you for your push through. Your push through. Super proud of you. So I want you to continue to just be such a beautiful light to people that come your way. God's going to continue to just do great things in and through you. We're not done. He's not through with us.
No.
He's not through with us.
Far from over.
Far from over. That's kind of what we're hearing about the election. Far from over. But as it pertains to our purpose and our calling, it's so far from over.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
And I appreciate you, Cheryl. All right, be blessed.
Mwah.